stuff to do yet. Hello, welcome to Leashed Dads podcast. I believe it just started now, so welcome to Leashed Dads podcast. That is JJ.
That's JCD.
We are two leashed dads that get together to discuss our everyday lives while changing our parental responsibilities. And tonight we're talking about home summer school.
Summer
It could be a
school, and
home
if
summer school, I
not
guess.
to do it, I mean, hell.
Yeah, when to do it, when not to do it.
Or should you do it at all?
Yeah.
Or, okay, point being, summer school. That's the That's the topic of the night. Maybe we'll stay on topic, unlike last time. But that was a good time. So let's see here. How many times, Jared? How many times have you actually done summer school, or have you been part of summer school?
God, I only went for like 2 years. I think second grade was the last time I went. So second going into third.
Okay.
You?
Okay. Once. I'm pretty sure it was once that I remember. And that was like in fourth grade or something like that, where they wanted me to work on. I took most of it was like reading and literature, basically, or writing, just to help me get up there with that. So that's really all I did for a month, I guess it was, because I think it was like 4 weeks long or something. And it was only like for 3 or some hours like that, from 8 to 11. So
Yeah, it's not an all day thing. It's usually short.
It's kind of like a half day comparison, but summer school, in grade school, I think it was great. As you know, they can do as much as you can to make it enjoyable. Do you remember any of your summer school? Like you said, second grade was probably like the last time.
I don't know. I mean, I remember. Well, it's weird because I remember the classroom, but I don't really remember like the topic per se. Like, okay. I'm pretty sure I needed help with handwriting. Well, I still do, but besides,
nobody cares about handwriting anymore. And by that, I mean, like, if you're an adult, they don't really care.
Right. Yeah, and I think reading. I never really loved reading until recently, actually, in the last 5 years. Just because my ADHD wouldn't let me sit down and read a book. But I'm a little late to the game with this one. But it sure is a damn good book.
I never read them. I've only watched the movies.
Hey, it's actually better than the movie. As they always say, "Well, the book's better than the movie." In this case, it's true. I must say,
the books are almost always better than the movies because they can go into more fine detail, where the movie kind of just like, here you go.
Yep, that's why I like it, because it goes into more detail.
And by the way, in the movie, you missed out on like 3/4 of the decent details that make or break the Hunger Games itself. I mean, even like Harry Potter, for example.
Oh,
so yeah,
I know.
The movies are good, but there's so much more detail within the book itself that it just brings it more to life. It kind of fills in the blanks, or that imagination, helps you create a better imagination of what is going on versus what the movies are able to provide. Granted, yes, movies can only give you like an hour, 2 hours, depending on your franchise and whatnot, right? But it'll always be said that books are probably going to be better than the movies, unless you're a movie fanatic, which is fine. If you're a cinephile, that's fine. I don't, it's okay to be a cinephile by all means, but books will have more detail because they don't necessarily have a time requirement,
right?
Or not even a time requirement, but like I guess Yeah, it's kind of like a requirement. You have to meet so many hours, or you can't go past it. So like a time restriction. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But
But back to summer school before I get on a tangent about Harry Potter because I can and I don't want
yeah,
to
we're
right
not
now.
we're not
But
going to get on a tangent. But the reading idea, I also was in like reading as well, to help me with that. But I started, it's funny you talked about reading up or finally getting to the Hunger Games books. I have gone back. I feel like I sound like I'm losing my voice. I don't know,
it
but
does. Are you sick?
not that I know of. I
Oh,
don't. I mean, it's possible that my body is just overtired and whatnot. Um, but I don't feel sick at all. Uh, the the
well, you
books I
sound.
started. It's probably for another day. Uh,
All right.
but the books I started picking up on here, I don't I don't remember if you have ever read these books, but I started reading this series by this author back in 5th grade, and it was called it's like called Redwall. So it was called Redwall. Then it was like uh, the Wall of Redwall, things like that. Salamander. It's the author's name is Brian Jacques, and basically this is all fantasy, but he creates this world. Oh, one of the books is called Mossflower. He creates this world that's all about like the mice, the rats, the
Oh, you've talked about this before. That's right. Yep.
yeah. So I think I briefly talked about it, but I started getting back into that. I do have some of the books as well. I do have read right now the first book I believe, which is Redwall, upstairs in my bedroom. Um, I do need to pick up and start reading it again, but the chapters are really short, in a way, but the book itself is very, very long because I think what it does is breaks it into books. So it's kind of like The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings, where you have your like I actually have a big ass Lord of the Rings book at my parents' house, but it's all three from uh, the Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, and Return of the King or whatever. Um, so it's all three of those combined, which is over like 1,000 pages or something like that. So yeah, but Redwall is very similar in that aspect, where it's uh, multiple books, if I recall. So it's like 3 or 4 books broken, and then those books are broken down into chapters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting. I want to start reading those, but at that time when I was reading those in 5th grade, those are actually in a 5th grade mind. The well, my school at least, it was the highest level, and the highest level at that point was Z.
Okay.
I basically, I wouldn't say forced, but like let my teacher make me read, or had my teacher let me read those books because I wanted to read it with my friend who was reading at the Z level. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't want to be reading at some shitty level. I feel like I could do that, um, but it turns out it's different, right? It all depends on your comprehensive skills. So
Yeah.
the whole summer school thing, um, I think is very critical to help keep the mind going versus, you know, and this is the point where I come back to it. It's like, I wish we could just be like the Eastern culture a little bit, or like Japanese culture. Go to school all year round, basically, and have maybe like a month off or like a couple weeks off, however their schedule really works, right? I've played enough Japanese role playing games where they do that. They do actually go through the Japanese calendar school year, basically. And you start off and go through it, and then you have your like summer break or whatever. You have like 1 month off of school, things like that, and that's it. You go to school Monday through Saturday. Saturday being a half day. So would it be interesting? Yes, but I know that the states would never go for it. it would never
No,
happen.
and I think it's, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a teacher, but I know that going off of school for those 3-ish months, it really detached me from the active learning standpoint and
Mm-hmm.
then also the growth standpoint because there was such a huge gap of doing bullshit. Let's just be honest, doing absolutely nothing
Yeah.
constructive. I mean, I wasn't reading, I wasn't writing, I wasn't doing any learning. I was goofing off, as one should when you're off of school. But if I had an option to maybe get it done a little before I was like 18 or whatever, and you had that compactness of, like the 1 month only off, but I probably would have preferred it, honestly. I mean, I say that now as an adult, but I think young Jared would agree. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd probably go back if I could go back in time and become a kid again. I would probably consider doing it. Um, just because what is our school systems? What do our school systems probably do most of the time? The first half of the year,
Catching up.
you almost kind of play the catch up or relearn what you were supposed to learn last year. So then once you get to that, the second half of the year, you're now doing what you should be doing in that grade,
Right.
which to me is kind of sad. But
It
I don't
is. No,
know.
I agree.
Seems like things are changing again because now we're talking, if we talk about regular school, my kids, your kids, Jared, too, are probably learning core math. It's the most bullshit kind of thing ever. Why can't a kid just learn what 2 plus 2 is and be like 4 or 5 plus 5 is 10? Why do they have to make a group of 10 and then add on one, right? And then there's your 11 or whatever it is. It's dumb to me. So,
I had no problem learning the way I learned it, but
well,
I don't know.
exactly.
Maybe some other kids did. I don't know.
And that's the thing. It's here. How do you make this and make, if Johnny has 5 seeds, Sally has 6, what does that equal? Okay, well, let's make a group of 10 first. So let's give Sally 4 of Johnny's seeds. Now we've got a group of 10. And how many do you have left over? So that, again, the 11, but just kind of a random example out there. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't want to go on a tangent on the core math or anything like that because it's not the only thing. Um, the whole idea of summer school, I think, could be abolished in a way if we were to adapt like Eastern culture and just go to
Right.
school almost all year round. I won't say all year because they do get that month off. They do get like a winter break. Um, they do have like I think it's called Golden Week or something like that, where they do get like a week off or something. Um, but then one of their weeks throughout each of their semesters is essentially a, a an exam week, like midterms. So they're literally taking tests for every single class throughout that entire
Right.
week, which I think they also only maybe this is based off the video game aspect that I have. They only do like 1 or 2 courses a day or classes a day for those exams. And not to mention, again, this is kind of like what we did or what I did in grade school, right? Um, no, not really what I did in grade school, but because in grade school, once you hit like 5th grade, you would end up bouncing from one class to the other classroom. Like you would go from teacher to teacher, kind of getting you ready for those others, for like middle school and everything.
Right.
Um, but in the Japanese culture, it's teachers coming to your classroom. You basically stay in your classroom all day long.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it would have been great, but it didn't happen. But those are small differences. I'm not saying they would have to do that or whatnot. I think I'd actually prefer to go change scenery rather than
No.
have my teachers come into different or classrooms and me stay in the same classroom. Just so it's like the idea, this is the adult side of things. But then again, this is also the idea of growing up. So it's a little bias of growing up and actually doing it, where we do go from one class to the next classroom, right? I don't think I could get used to the teacher coming into my classroom. But so summer school, though, with that, um, if we were to abolish summer school, how would you make that up or whatnot? Or again, you don't have to necessarily ever go to summer school. Um, my wife and I do make our kids go to summer school. Uh, One, it's good to have them get that extra month. Not saying we're trying to take away a month of summer from them. By no means are we trying to do that. Again, it's a half day. That's it. All they're doing is going to school for half a day for the week, every single week. Um, but it's just to help have them do something for a month rather than 3 months sitting on their asses basically and doing nothing. Um, so it helps them do that, but it also again helps them focus on what they need or the attention they can use, such as some reading or comprehensive reading, right? My 11-year-old, he should understand more about his books than he does now. He should be able to, if I were to like read his book and then all of a sudden quiz him, he should be able to tell me who the main characters are. And I know we've had this conversation before, but he has struggled with that where Sam and I have quizzed him and he's like, I don't know. Basically his answers are, I don't know. It's like, how do you not know? You've read the book.
Then how are you really reading it, or
Well,
reading comprehension? That's what it is.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
is he will sit there, read. He'll turn the pages for half an hour. So that's all he does every night is read for 30 minutes. And it's part of his reading log. But it's like, if I would be more strict on that, it'd be like, all right, tell me what you read. Right? We did that at one point with him when he was reading a book about puberty. And we were asking him what he kind of like, give us 5 facts that you read tonight or things like that. But we really haven't done that with him about his other books. And the big problem that I have too now is since he's gotten his phone, Sam has been lenient and let him download like the Kindle app or the reading app, where he get like Sam's Amazon Kindle app. So
yeah.
he can read on his phone. I don't trust that.
I don't either.
Not saying I don't, not saying I know there's that opportunity, but he's a kid. Is he really reading? Or is he sitting there looking like he's reading? And he has been, right? It's just there are times that I really don't trust it all too well. But he's going to middle school next year. He is going to summer school this year as well. But we also allow him to basically make him do, I think it's two courses that he needs to focus on or help with. So like reading comprehensive things like that, but then one kind of fun course. So the fact that he's going to be going into middle school, they offer that introduction to middle school summer course. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Arlo, I think, is kind of the same way. We still do that, where he's going to be doing whatever, but it makes me worry a little bit. I feel like I'm not necessarily pushing my children all too hard when it comes to schooling. Not saying I want to over push them, but at the same time, I feel like they're not walking away with what they need to walk away with, the understanding of what they're doing. So I feel like that's where I'm failing as a parent. And summer school can help pick up that slack, but it won't. It most likely won't, sadly. But I would always recommend putting children in summer school, only because it really does help them keep that academic growth going. even if it is just kind of giving them that assistance that they need. Eventually, it's going, having them go in summer school. It can help. It can help things click faster, or just click in general. So hopefully, Kane can eventually pick up on reading and comprehending what he is reading. Um, I know that's always been his struggle, but hopefully with this, he does do that. Um, or even start writing better. I get it. In fifth grade, not all of us, we didn't always write the best either. But I look at it and go, this writing is not good. Like, I love my son. I love the fact that he's trying, but sometimes it's half-assed.
Yeah.
And we've told him it too. Like, he wrote a speech the other day. It was very half-assed. It was very, very half-assed. Sam looked at it, and like I looked at it first. I'm like, this is not acceptable. I don't care if it's not being turned in or whatnot. This is unacceptable work. There were like no punctuation marks. His first paragraph was basically a run-on sentence. I think all his paragraphs were run-on sentences.
Yeah. I mean, how old is he?
11.
Yeah.
He knows punctuation. He knows periods. He knows commas. He knows exclamation marks. There was nothing. If anything, very little. He didn't have the pronoun I capitalized. Yes, I'm nitpicking on my son, but you learn that you're supposed to capitalize the pronoun I no matter what.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man.
It is what it is, but it's just kind of, one of those things that's why I also want him to go to summer school as well. Not because he's bad at English or anything like that. Hell, I still suck at English. And it's my first language. We probably all somewhere along the way suck at English because there's so many damn rules to the English language.
No, sometimes we just get lazy.
Yeah, that too. That we certainly do.
Like
But
I've
it's
started cutting out I for some reason in my correspondence with shit. I don't
oh
know.
my goodness, why do you do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Like
What
instead
are
of I'm
so?
going to bed, going to bed.
Yeah, okay. Who's going to bed? That's the big problem.
Does it matter? I'm the one texting.
Yes, it matters
Or I'm the one writing the fucking email. What does it matter?
because whoever gets it is not going to always understand who the subject is.
Yeah, I guess. Oh.
That's the big problem. That's the whole thing I had with Kane too. Is one of his sentences was the fact that he was talking about a field trip. That's one of his memories was a field trip. Okay, what was the field trip? Oh, it's in there. And then the fact that his dad was a chaperone. Yeah. The point being was he said something about his dad being the chaperone, and then the next part of the sentence was something about um, whatever. It's like, no, you can't do that. You have to actually kind of restate the subject of the sentence. So yeah, it's I I don't remember how soon or how far along that was when we did that shit in school. Um, and maybe that's my biggest thing is I feel like I did know that early on, but I also remember watching a lot of the Schoolhouse Rock stuff,
Yeah.
which
Conjunction,
they were
junction. What's your function?
yeah, conjunction
Yep.
junction, what's your function, the Bill of Rights song, um, the exclamation ones or the uh, whatever, right? or even learning the predicate, things like that.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah,
a
what
lot
are
of
your thoughts?
times, what?
What are your thoughts? Since I shared that I think it's still good for kids to go to school or go to summer school.
Yeah, we can wrap it up on mine here. A lot of the times, if your child is struggling, the teacher will or somebody will reach out to you and recommend that your child attends, a specific type of summer school,
Yeah.
as Justin said, for reading and writing and whatnot. And I went specifically for reading and writing. They do have programs that are just recreational fun, kind of whatever, get the kids just playing with each
Mm-hmm.
other or whatever, but I don't necessarily like those that much, and especially, and here's why. My stepson had a little bit of a quirk slash disability, and if your child has hyperactive tendencies and doesn't really listen and has it just, I would not recommend leaving the care of that child to somebody who might be just either volunteering or fresh. That's not necessarily a teacher, because a lot of those sometimes, depending on your city, through the rec department, right? And these aren't trained people; they are employees of the rec department. So my experience with that was every day we'd get a call. You need to come get your son, or we had an issue today during one of the activities, and it just got, why are we doing this if he's, it was not easy, let's just put it that way. And I while I would kind of trust Eleanor to do something like constructive and enjoy it as much, I really think that she'd kind of be in that same boat where authority that's not a teacher or a parent is kind of, I don't know what I'm saying here. It's concerning. I am concerned about bringing my child to somebody who is not a teacher or like a licensed professional.
Hmm. Interesting.
Sorry, that's just my
No,
rant.
no, it's interesting because I know like our school, it's not rec department volunteers or anything like that. It is the teachers.
Oh, well, but
So
that's for specific subjects. That is kind of schooling I would definitely recommend if your child needs it, or if you think that they would learn a little bit extra during the summertime. Yes,
yeah.
but like the other side of it, the activities like the arts and crafts, the games and stuff.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
it may be through the school district, but it's ran by the rec department and not teachers.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know about all those classes. Um I mean maybe it is depending on the school district too. Like for example, I think Appleton might actually have all their um teachers still do the summer stuff, but they
Yeah,
also like get kind of they break it down a little bit. Um Maybe get some breaks between. So like maybe the first, because they do like 3 months, right? Uh, they'll do June, July, and August basically, depending on which semester you want to sign up for, I guess, for summer school.
yeah.
Um, but I think maybe they even rotate between the teachers, just so everybody gets at least 2 months off or something like that. I don't necessarily know how that all works out, but I feel like it's not just, even with the arts and crafts or the fun classes that are available. Like Kane took cooking a couple times, just to break up the day, right? Rather than having all classes that are like, here's your reading, here's your math, here's your writing, things like that. Um, he gets the choice of taking that fun class. Um, I think it's you know all run by the teachers, like actual licensed teachers, not so much like volunteers or anything like that. So I think it also may vary on, maybe that's just lack of knowledge on my part, or it just varies on school districts too.
It could
Or
vary on
it
school
very well
districts for
could, but
sure.
who knows? But yeah,
But
I
yeah,
don't
no,
think arts and crafts or anything like that necessarily, if it was run by a rec, I don't know if I'd always be willing to let my child just go there and have it be, I won't say unsupervised, but lack of authority, like you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, if your teacher or school is saying your child needs more education in a certain area, please by all means put them in summer school. And if not, then I would continue learning by going to the library, your local library, getting a library card, reading with them, just briefly talk, get work. They have workbooks. I did a lot of workbooks growing up, and that might just be a 90s kids thing. And I had the writing workbooks and the math workbooks to do during summer.
No.
While I didn't get much out of it, you could try it with your child. Don't pay attention to this dumbass.
You have to put effort into it, though. You can't just necessarily be like, yep, here you go, here's a workbook.
Don't be like, Jared, sit down and do a page in your workbook.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get anything out of that.
No.
Looking outside, looking at the squirrels and birds.
And then you feel like a dog and be like, ooh, squirrel.
Yeah, I had a squirrel. I still have
ADD.
I still have attention issues. I can't.
Yeah, well, that's never going to go away, young sir.
No. Because I always want to be doing something else.
Is that what it comes down to? You always want to do something else?
Yeah, because anytime I'm doing something, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh, I really could be doing this right now. Oh, that really needs to be done. How am I going to do that when I get to it? And do I have time? It's constant. It's constant.
Oh, I know. Then I tell myself I don't have time to do shit, and then it's because I choose not to give myself the time.
Sitting in a meeting yesterday or the day before is like, I really need to categorize my hobbies, like categorize my cards, my leftover Pokemon cards, my Hot Wheels. I need to make a spreadsheet. I need to decide on how to organize them. And it just... I'm telling you.
I get it.
33 years old, and I'm still thinking like a fifth grader.
Nope. No, you're not thinking like a fifth grader. You're thinking like a organized person. You're thinking about, you got so much running in your head that it's cluttering you, and it's probably causing unneeded stress. But yeah. So do you have anything else about summer school at all? I mean, it's a little different, but I still make a recommendation for all you parents that are like debating. Now is the time to still sign your kids up if they're still in school and whatnot. I know I keep getting like daily reminders from one of our school's apps that they use saying, hey, well, I won't say daily, but they still send out kind of like a reminder saying, yep, if you still want, summer school's quickly approaching. There, you can still sign up. You may not get the classes you want anymore, but at the same time, you're going to get something out of it. I still recommend it, especially if if there is any type of recommendation that your teachers provide or something like that. If you're comfortable giving your kids 3 months off, great, by all means. Again, I know I think I only really went up to 4th grade or 1 year. That was basically it. But I mean, half a day for a month. So it's not bad by any means. It's not, it works. It helps continue their learning rather than them sitting on their ass playing video games or if they're outside, great. Who cares? Let them be outside. Let them play. Have fun. But just make sure they're not necessarily melting their brains with video games or movies all day long, things like that. Or if they are in front of screens, you know what? My kids, we recently downloaded ABC Mouse for them. I recommend it a little bit. Nico was having fun with it. He was doing something I think well out of his league with his ABC mouse, but that's okay. I think there's a way we can set up how it works for him rather than be like, which fraction is bigger? Mind you, this is a 5-year-old working on fractions.
You're right.
So it was like, oh my goodness. And then I'm sitting here doing my math wrong. I should know how to do this. And it's like, fuck, I fucked up. Because he'll ask me for help, and then I look at the equation, and it's like, this, like, 1/5 times 2/4. What is that? It's like, fuck, I should know this.
Yeah,
And I get
I
it
hate
wrong.
frat.
It's
Yeah.
like, God damn it. It's not like I don't know what I'm doing, but apparently I didn't know what I was doing. So, but yeah, um, I hope them stay in school. Honestly, it's never a bad thing. I think it'd be great for children, even though there might be some burnout. Um, but one, it's good for the parents. It gets the child out of the house. It gives the
Yeah.
parents a chance to relax, um, do something you need to do, rather than having rambunctious children yelling and screaming all day long in your ears, even though they're in another room. Possibly, I don't know, but that's what I got for you.
Yep, I'm good. Yeah, just try to keep them busy. Don't let them sit in the basement drinking cherry Pepsi and watching trash TV all
You would
afternoon.
know. I think that was his lifestyle at one point, or it is his lifestyle.
No, it was. I don't drink that shit anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. I think actually officially I've been on 2 months now of no caffeine.
Cool.
No, it doesn't feel like it feels like it's been longer than 2 months. Honestly, they started this at the end of March. April's already gone. God, hold on. Day one, no caffeine. April 6th was a week of no caffeine. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the 27th of April was 4 weeks. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I'll be on week 9 of no caffeine.
Okay. Wow. Good job.
Come Saturday. So yeah, last week was my second month basically of no caffeine, which is quite impressive. But yeah, it's there are still times where I wish, or where I just want to break it, but folks, I think come July it will be broken. I don't think I'll be able to do a 19 hour drive down to Florida without it.
No.
So, but yeah. All right, folks. Well, if you have anything, you know, I guess I want to just make sure you guys are clear. Choose wisely with your children. You don't have to force them into summer school. Give them the option um, of it. But if you really feel that they need it, or again, the teacher recommends it, I would definitely heavily consider putting them into summer school for that. And I'm pretty sure you don't have to put them in 3 different courses or whatever it is. You could probably just put them in the course they really need help with, if
Mm-hmm.
anything. Or if you really want them out of your house for 3 hours a day, that's fine too. Put them in, because who, I admit maybe it would be nice. But you know, I strongly recommend putting them in summer school, just to give them something to do rather than them. Because nowadays, right, everybody is sitting there going, or all the kids are sitting there going, "What do you want to do today?" At least that's how I feel like it is with most of the kids now. What do you want to do today? I don't know. Like, they have no imagination. Where we at one point were like, "Let's go outside and play. Let's go rollerblade. Let's go to the park." These kids nowadays are like, man, they're outside. What do we do? And then they're bored, and then they want to do nothing. Damn, technology ruins people's lives, I swear. But
Yeah.
that's what I
All
got.
right.
We'll see you all next week. Maybe. Bye, guys.